Hello guys, welcome back to SimUK. Unlike previous videos and stuff that I make, I'm just going to play this game and you can just join me along for it. It's not going to be like in my traditional style or sense because those days have passed. I am so excited, however, to be looking at Fernbus Simulator Update 1.2. Look at this. I have been waiting so patiently for Fernbus to get the lick of paint it deserves. I have no idea why these images are so pixelated. They take ages to come into action. The number of updates in 1.2 are just ridiculous. Look at this effect on the window. That looks like rain on a windscreen. And also, this has been improved, or these have been improved. These are the pop-up rear view mirrors. Now, I'm hoping that means these have also been improved, because this has always been too dark. So you can never see cars coming up behind you. If you watch my channel for a long time, you know I moan about that every time I drive. Apparently, these have been updated. I'm hoping these have also received this update. But the number of updates in this game are gargantuan. They are absolutely ridiculous. So, you know, football team bus. Maybe I'll try that. Yeah, they're absolutely gargantuan. It's ridiculous how much they've done. I can't go through and tell you everything that they've done because there's just too much. But I'm going to start a new career, I think. I'm going to give this a crack. Let's start a new game. Oh, there's mods now. Are you sure you want to start a new game? Yes, I am. Enter your name. Oops. Sorry, I'm all a bit fingers and thumbs this morning because somebody just tried to kill me. Some a-hole in a Maserati tried to cut. Well, he didn't. He full on cut me up. I'm going to tell you all about it in a minute. Let's get this game started. I'm still a bit shaky. The anxiety and the adrenaline. I was going to get out and kick his head in. In fact, I tried. I'll tell you. I'll tell you all about it in just a moment. Right, so that's Bayern Munich. Who do we want to be? Bayer Leverkusen. So this is like difficulty settings here. Let's go for Nuremberg. Go for the most difficult. Wow, look at that. Now that's a bus, all right. That's awesome. Okay, we're just gonna go for the team bus because that is cool. A realistic, yes please. Your name's Sim, blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Here we go. And our first game is away to Bayern Munich. So that's where we're gonna go today. Start game. So apparently the loading times have been cut down. Performance has been improved. Memory pools have been updated and enhanced. That's for textures, by the way. So everything should be running quite smoothly. I'm interested to see what my FPS count is going to be now. We were sort of pinging around mid-30s, high 40s. Last time I played Fernbus, that was quite a while ago. Oh, it's all that lick of paint. In the world, you can find various location markers that you can interact with. Walk to the position markers and use interact. For orientation, you can navigate yourself with the help of this target mark. This marker is only visible when you're outside your vehicle. You can also deactivate this marker in your smartphone. Enter your club office. In the lower left corner, you will see your next task. Now, my character there was slightly wandering forwards, which makes me think that I might need to do some keybind alteration. I think what I might do is grab the old Xbox 360 and bind my walking to that, because ordinarily I have it on mouse with my accelerator being the walk forward button, but as you can see I'm permanently walking forward, so if I go into a space... Oh no, it's working fine. I don't know what that was then, but we don't have to worry about it. Right, so what do I have to do? Go to my office. We've got 56 FPS at the moment, but we're not doing too much. Damn, look at this. I'm really looking forward to seeing the lightning and the snow and all that kind of good stuff. Enter the club office. Here we go. Received emails can be read here. You can also send an email for hotel reservations, workshop appointments, and etc. That should be appointments, etc., not and etc. Just a minor foible. Should the mail icon flash, it indicates that you've received a new mail. I don't think that comma should be there. The calendar will display your next appointment. S needs to be removed. Should the icon flash, it indicates that you've received a new appointment. Click on the buttons to check the condition of your bus and your food and beverage inventory. The more colour, value of the rings, the more the colour value of the rings turns towards red, the more critical the condition is. That needs slightly rewording. That was difficult to read. I can't help being analytical. It's just the way I am. Budget. The financial overview is displayed here. I can't speak either. Breaking these teeth in for an idiot. Like I say, I'm still shaking after this moron tried to kill me a minute ago. The financial overview is displayed here. I did scare the crap out of him though, so that's pretty good. You can see the current position of your club here. Your club is marked with the blue bar. By clicking on the button above, you can see some additional details. Okay. The social network displays your team's posts. These can be about the last match, as well as positive or negative feedback about your driving skills, your service or punctuality, and the like. Cool. I'm kind of excited about this. In the section inbox, you can read your received emails. Every season start with every season start, you will receive an email from the online provider where you can choose a rate for the entire season. Just needs a little bit of work on the old English here. Select a rate and confirm it. Okay. In the section new email, you can send emails to book hotel rooms or request workshop appointments. Select the respective email template. Click submit to submit. No. Important, you will receive a confirmation or a negative reply after a few days. Well, that's interesting. The possibility of a negative reply. What would you do in that circumstance? Is there more than one hotel in an area? That would be good. That would be cool. Right. Hello, Sim UK. We, capital W, welcome you to our club and look forward to a good cooperation, for the coming season. Best regards, Borman, the club manager. Good. Yes. Right, so this is our Indigo Business rate. What's this for? Here is Indigo Business, high-speed surfing with up to 100 megabits per second, starting from $49.95 monthly. So I'm not being funny. Top flight German football teams will just expect the best of the best. And why shouldn't they? You know, even the worst team in the top flight German league can afford $89.95 a month. But then I suppose the emphasis is on my budget from the boss. But anyway, we're going with that because it's an easy win, isn't it? Oh, you can't delete this email. Oh. Interesting. Why can't you delete that one? Click on this button to skip to the next appointment. Should you have several appointments on the same day, you can switch between them by clicking on the corresponding icon. Okay. The calendar shows you all current appointments. Red boxes represent game days. Orange boxes represent confirmed Orange boxes represent confirmed hotel reservations. Green boxes represent confirmed workshop appointments or any other self-created appointments. Cool. To create your own appointment, click on the appropriate day. This is not possible on match days. Also, on Sundays, you cannot create any appointment for shopping in a supermarket because they're closed on a Sunday. I wish they were closed in the UK on a Sunday. You know, sometimes on a Sunday you do need to go get stuff, but hey. So it doesn't... I mean, this is our match day against Bayern Munich, and I don't know where Nuremberg are located in comparison to Bayern Munich. So I don't know whether or not we need to get a hotel reservation or not. €5,500, which is not much, is it? What's this? Match day. Saturday. Is there no map? I find that rather odd, that there's no map. How interesting. I think, TML, you might want to consider having a map option here. There must be a map, surely. Surely there's a map. Okay, so it's match day today. It obviously can't be that far away, because otherwise somebody would have said, make sure you got a hotel booked. I'm sure of it. Right, here are the lads. Would you like to meet them all? So this is the team. These are the guys. Hello, guys. They've all got changing hair, as you notice. Changes from black to brown and back to black again. It's a team thing. They all do it together. Obviously, we've got lanky legs in the middle there. Fantastic goalkeeper. Likes to levitate when he's not actually on the pitch. Fantastic team. They don't talk to each other very much, it looks like. Just aimlessly looking off into the distance. Now, what I am what I am interested in seeing is whether or not they walk onto the bus. Because that was a big thing for me. I rather suspect they're going to vanish. Oh, that's a shame! I thought they were actually going to walk on the bus. They obviously haven't implemented that yet in Fernbus. I really hoped that was going to be a thing, but hey. Oh, we have audio. Ah, cool. Quite like that. I'm not sure it's perfectly in keeping with what we're looking at, but yeah, it's not bad. Better than them being absolutely silent. Right, let's get my arse sat down if I can remember any of my buttons. We have head tracking today. The absolutely fantastic Fusion wireless device from D-Land Clip. Highly recommended. Go check out my review if you haven't seen it. My God, I'm remembering all of the buttons. It's impressive. I can't seem to get myself perfectly centralised in this seat there. Oh, really low. Just my imagination. Right, I think I'm going to aim my head down just a little bit. There we go. Much happier with that. Alright, so I believe we're in gear. Okay, that's my gear. Let's just put the handbrake on a second and just check all the buttons and stuff. So they're going to want Wi-Fi, they're going to want the kitchen, they're going to want the restroom. Reading lights is on. Passenger lights probably don't need to be on. Turn those off, I think. No announcement, obviously. Fanfare is on. Passengers monitor is on. Aircon is on. Keep it at a cool 20. The aircon, I think, has always been too loud. I don't know when the doors are locked. So the light goes off when the doors are locked. Okay, fair enough. I think the aircon needs to be a bit quieter, or it needs to turn off after a while. Automatic particle filter, I think. Put the lights on. Oh, the destination display doesn't come up with anything. I think what it should show is the team name, really. Okay, I think we're good to go. We don't seem to have... Oh, there's the accelerator. Sorry. Must have had the handbrake on. Right, so obviously we need to go left here, which is going to be awkward. What I forgot to do was have a look at the stadium, but yeah, we're going to struggle to get out here, aren't we? Look at the traffic. I think we're going to have to be aggressive. See the dirt on the window already. Turn that aircon off for a minute until they complain about it, and then I'll turn it back on. As soon as that light goes green, I'm just going to have to push my way out there. What worries me is this truck is going to come and park so close to me that I'm not going to be able to turn this very sharp corner. Is there another way out of here? Things like this. Cheers, dude. See, I think he stopped in order to let me out, but what he actually ended up doing was making it impossible for me to get out. Now, come on, you're locals, correct? You should be letting your football team out. Day back, Audi. Good. That's the perfect place. Wait there. Taxi man, you have to let me out. I'm going to tell you about this Maserati a-hole in a minute. Once we're on the motorway, I think I'll do that. Don't you dare! Now, we've gone and got ourselves into this situation, haven't we? So because these cars are being held up, now the truck can't go forward, which means he can't clear the space for me to get out, so we're going to have to go back again. Seriously, TML, you need to code something into the logic system so that cars don't drive past red lights unless they have a clear path. So put a collision detection zone in the middle, and if there are any cars on that collision detection zone, then do not let any more cars through. That's the only way to do it. Got a solid 30-31 at the moment, FPS wise. Right, here we go, here we go. Right, we're actually on the road. Fantastic. Now, how do I adjust my... go. I'm going to have to bind that to a button. Let's do that right now. In your smartphone, you have access to all apps that are also accessible in the club office. Click on the top bar to open Settings menu. Here you can turn on and off tips, markers to the next destination, and set the background color of your smartphone. Fantastic. Let's do that. Let's say tips. Turn that off. Turn that off. Keep that the same. Oh, I said keep it the same. Why did you change? Weird. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, because I clicked on reset to default. That is the wrong icon, because that looks like go back to me. Right, we'll go for that. And also the default wasn't black, so I'm not sure why. Oh, what is going on? Set to that. Change, accept. There we go. Okay. That was a bit frustrating, wasn't it? That's what we need. Controls and Man Lions Coach. We need to come down here and it'd be great if the horn actually did something. Like if you hit the horn, a car would reverse or something like that. Cars would give you a bit more space. That would be good. Maybe it's, no, come on, think now. Controls, general, maybe it's in here. No, it must be in the, oh, it is in here. That's so weird. Right, so we're going to add a button. And we're going to add that button. Accept, back to game. So now we have control over the... Fantastic. And because... Oh, that's not the right thing. Oh, what the... Turn off. Yeah. Because the sat nav on the dash is actually readable now, I can turn off the HUD completely. So that's quite cool. Right, just taking a few minutes to settle myself. Still though, there's no map. Which just seems crazy. Navigator. Ah, okay. Oh, okay, so Nuremberg to München is actually not that far. And that's a pretty straightforward route, isn't it? Excellent. Okay, well that's where we're going today. Got to get used to where that mirror is. You still can't adjust mirrors, which is a bit of a shame. I wish you could. So like a zoom in. Oh, I've got the map bound to that button. Now, I'm fairly sure... Was that the train station? Oh, that's cool. So I can actually drop the guys off at the train station or pick them up from the train station and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure I read in the changelog that TML had set the game so that it only showed bus stops for those that were on your actual route. Not sure if that's accurate. Maybe I've misread that. Not entirely sure. Now, something I wanted to try was changing my field of view. And see if it just makes things clearer at a distance. But we'll see. Incidentally, look at the fantastic buildings and structures that we've got here. This is so authentic. I've said it so many times before. I don't know what that Spinnaker Tower looking thing over there is. I've said it so many times before, but this is the most authentic driving experience I think I've ever had in a simulator. And I still stand by that. Incidentally, the game has a completely new weather engine. If you look up at the clouds, you can see that sort of two tiers of clouds. So there's like a slow, almost static upper cloud, and then you've got the faster moving lower cloud below that. So that's pretty new. Not sure what this guy's doing. Changing lanes by the looks of things. Everything I do this morning just reminds me of this Maserati. You may see me on the news later. It was quite intense a moment, I can tell you that much. If you happen to live in Bournemouth, then you'll know Castle Point, and you'll know the two-lane stretch that runs sort of a bypass, if you will, for Castle Point. And buses stop on the inside lane quite frequently. And that means that everybody on the inside lane tries to get out onto the outside lane. So driving along with the traffic 30 miles an hour, those who live in the area know this, and so they get into the correct lane so that they're not stuck behind the bus. But then you've got people who live in the area who are complete a-holes, like this Maserati guy today. And what they tend to try and do is drive up on the inside lane knowing that the bus is there, and then try and force their way across, thereby overtaking 2 or 3 cars or whatever it is, and you know, just driving like an absolute idiot, to be fair, I think is an accurate description. And that's what Maserati guy was doing today. But we were all driving along at 30 and he came flying up on the inside lane, quite possibly through a red light in order to come up along the inside of me. Now the bus was there, he could see the bus was there. The gap between me and the car in front was not big enough for him to get into. So he comes flying up on the inside at like 50 miles an hour and just pushed his way across into me, forcing me up onto the curb. And you know, I don't want my car to get damaged, but if my car gets damaged, that's kind of what a car is for. It is designed to protect the person inside. What really winds me up, and it's happened a few times in my life, is when somebody almost kills me, which is what this guy did. That really, really winds me up. I don't like bullies, I don't like rude people, and he was basically being both. So I was very angry. He got the horn for a good 10-15 second blast of the horn. Then I accelerated. Then he pulled back into the inside lane because he was going to try and do that same maneuver again further up. Exactly the same maneuver. He'd have floored it, passed 3 or 4 cars, and then just pulled across them like some, I mean literally with no care or attention. Really dangerous driving. really dangerous driving. And I was furious. I mean, infuriated. So angry. Obviously the guy's got a lot of money, driving around in a Maserati. His sense of entitlement is clear for all to see. And, you know, if he'd have ran me off the road, I can guarantee you he wouldn't have stopped. He'd have just driven on. He don't care. I'm not important. I'm just something that's in the way of him getting what he wants. Okay, that's the attitude of this guy. So I floored it, pulled up alongside him, gave him a couple of choice words, and to which his response was to again floor it and cut me up for a second time. So at this point, I felt like the guy needed to be taught a lesson. So, and I've done this a few times, rightly or wrongly. I'll tell you about the previous incident in a minute, but rightly or wrongly, I decided this guy needed to be taught a lesson. So I pulled across him and tried to make him stop. I gave him a few choice words, which he didn't respond to in a way that I felt indicated he apologised for what he'd just done. So I tried to pull across him and slow him down, which he then floored it and cut me up again. So this time I absolutely belted it. I went into the inside lane, I accelerated past him, and then I handbrake turned across the lane, blocking both lanes, and pinned him in that position. I then proceeded to undo my seatbelt and went to get out of the car. I mean, the guy obviously knew I was going to come and have a little word with him. So he then drove up on the path around my car and disappeared off round the roundabout. I did chase him down a little bit, but at this point I was so angry. I felt that my original idea of pulling up alongside of him, opening his car door, taking his keys and chucking them somewhere, I felt I was going to end up punching this guy in the face, you know, maybe dragging him out the car, giving him a right good kick in. I was very angry. When people tried to kill me, I mean, the ignorance of this man, the self-proclaimed importance of this man infuriated me as much as the fact that he had nearly killed me. Oh my gosh, look at this. That was some bad driving. Which is very apt for the conversation I'm having right now. So yes, I mean, I was really angry. This guy was definitely going to get a piece of my mind. Looking back at it now, you know, if the man had any ounce of intelligence, he would have locked his doors. I wouldn't have been able to open the door. I didn't have a hammer handy to smash the window, which is a good thing. I've got to stop looking back for my mirror. My mirror's there. Try it again. Looks clear. So anyway, yeah, so this guy is driving very dangerously. I mean, I could see in his face he was absolutely bricking it, which is great because the message most definitely got across. I mean, it was a bit over the top for me to handbrake turn in front of him and stop him, and I didn't fully block the other lane. I just blocked his lane. There was nowhere he could go other than backwards and round me or up on the curb. I can't believe he drove up on the curb. Ignorant arsehole. I mean, even now, if I saw him, I think I'd probably still be punching him in the face right now. And I've calmed down now. I was wound up at the time, but I've calmed down now. People like that need to be taught a lesson, because they're going to kill somebody. Could have killed me today. I mean, his saving grace, believe it or not, was that, well, I don't know. Had my daughter or my wife or any of my kids been in the car and he'd done that, I would have been unable to do what I did. But at the same time, I would have had more incentive to go and teach him a lesson. And I think that kind of fueled me. I never got this angry about arseholes like that when I was, you know, a single man, just driving around doing my thing. Look how amazing that looks. It looks photorealistic over there. But since I've had kids, people like that more than infuriate me. More than infuriate me. And you know, I was thinking afterwards, if he's got a dash cam in his car, then I am most likely, I mean, I was driving dangerously. I was driving dangerously. You know, I handbrake turned across a main road. There were no cars near us because he was accelerating away. I was chasing him, so there were no cars behind us or anything like that. There was space to do what I did. I wasn't completely irrational. You know, I did make sure it was safe to do it before I did it. But all of that happened very quickly. And on his dash cam, all you would have seen is my car accelerating hard up the outside, on the inside lane, and then handbraking it across the front of his car, forcing him to stop. But then what you'd also see on that video footage is him driving like an absolute arsehole, potentially driving through a red light in order to come up on my inside lane and then cut across me without even touching his brakes once. He didn't once look to see if there was space. He just pulled across and expected me to get out of the way. That's how he was driving. So, you know, he wouldn't be able to go to the police and show them that footage because of all the footage that he's already made. Plus, you know, I guarantee you that's not the first time he's driven like that. So the potential is that his entire... oh my god, look at this! The rain has started! That is awesome. Now, previously you used to be able to drive with the rain and not worry about windscreen wipers. I don't think that's going to be possible anymore, but we'll drive as far as we can before I put them on. But already, look at that. Look how authentic that looks. That is brilliant. That is absolutely insane. That is so good. And it's on the side windows. Wow. I can barely see. Right, let's get the windscreen wipers on. That's not windscreen wipers. There we go. I think we're going to need it at double speed. That's fantastic. And it sounds great too. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, let me just say that I'm not an advocate of violence. Don't particularly think that violence solves anything. But I do feel that people who drive like that, so self-important, so disrespectful and ignorant of other people on the road, you know, they really do need to be taken down a peg or 5. They really do, seriously. And there's kind of part of me that's always felt like every car in Britain should be allowed to have a baseball bat, and if somebody drives like that, you can put some holes in their car, smash some windows. That's how I feel, I really do. It's not the first time it's happened to me. I can think of 3 occasions already, that being one of them. I remember once on a friend's birthday, we were going to go to the pub, have a few games of pool, a couple of pints, just chill out, relax, have a nice little day. And we took a taxi, and a similar thing happens. We were driving down the road within the speed limit, nothing serious happening. There were no other cars either. This is what really annoyed us. There were no cars in front, no cars behind. It was just us. And this car pulled out from the right hand side, which means he had to cross a lane to get into our lane. And he pulled out. It was like he was trying to hit us. That's how close he was to hitting us. And in that instance, the taxi driver had to swerve. We went up a curb. Thank God there was nobody stood there, because that wasn't done in safety in mind. He was just trying not to hit the car. And obviously we all got thrown about. The curbs in Bournemouth are quite high. It wasn't like a little bop up or something like that. It was a proper big curb. And you know, it shook us all up. It could have killed us. We could have ended up in the shop. We could have hit somebody. We were angry. I was especially angry. I always get angry in situations like that. So yeah, I mean, just so happens we drove a little bit further down the road. The lights turned red. We all jumped out, opened this bloke's car door, beat the living shit out of him. He drove across the red light with his head down in the footwell, which was dangerous in itself, but nobody was hurt, thankfully. The only person who did get hurt was that idiot driver who shouldn't have been driving like that. And I just feel like, although I don't think violence is a justification, you know, there's no justification for violence, I admit openly, hands on heart, that I was in the wrong for doing that. But I think he will think twice before driving like that again. Maybe not forever, but at least for the next month, 2 months, he will drive more considerately of other people, and I think that could save lives. So that is my justification for getting out and beating the crap out of that guy. And that would have been the exact same justification for taking this Maserati's car keys and just driving off with them and throwing them somewhere. That would be my justification for doing it. Because, you know, he could have killed me. And I guarantee you, he drives like that often, and he could kill somebody else. So, you know, if I have to take the law into my own hands, which unfortunately for people like that, there doesn't seem to be any other way of teaching them a lesson. The police are never there at the right time. They never do anything if you report it. I mean, bearing in mind, in the UK, the number of police officers we have is dramatically reduced now from what it was 10 years ago. You know, they just haven't got the manpower to deal with stuff like this. And, you know, it's a shame because I understand nobody was hurt, so the level of priority is low. But that guy is going to kill someone or hurt someone. It's just going to happen. He's that dangerous a driver. So I felt like I needed to shake him up a bit and make him really think about the way he drives. What I want him to think, what I want him to go away from this experience was, if he hadn't have been able to drive up on the curb and get around my car, then I would have beat the living shit out of him. That's what I want him to walk away thinking. And I think I achieved that. And as such, I feel justified in making that decision. But, you know, at the end of the day, he drove dangerously, I drove dangerously. He drove dangerously because he's a dickhead, and I drove dangerously because I want to save lives. So I feel justified in my bad driving. Well, looks like we're nearly here, guys. Look at this. Looks like we double back on ourselves. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, so need to kind of pay attention a bit here, I guess. And just to finish off the story, I suppose, I was driving back from a friend's house in Southbourne, just outside of Bournemouth, and somebody pulled across the road. Somebody pulled across the road in front of me so badly that I had to lock up all the tyres, and I skidded across 2 lanes and up onto a curb to avoid this person, and they just drove off. And I was angry. Same level of anger as we're talking about today. Yeah, I did a 180 reverse skid, chased this car, caught up with it, pulled alongside. Obviously I was angry, beeping the horn, flying up behind this 4x4. I was very, very cross, and the driver knew I was cross. There was no questioning it. So the driver pulled over, and as I pulled up alongside, about to unleash 10 tons of verbal abuse, I saw it as this little old lady. Well, not a little old lady, but an old lady, a granny. And she wound her window down, and I swear to God, what she said to me was, I mean, I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming. And she said to me, I know exactly what you're going to say, and I'm very sorry. My grandson is in the car. Please don't swear. So I absorbed that information. I processed it as quickly as I could. And I decided, okay, let's not... Where are we going here? Let's not give her loads of verbal abuse. I mean, I wouldn't have done anyway because it was a woman, expecting it to be some dude. But I just said to her, okay, don't do it again. And she said, yes, I'm sorry. And I wound my window up, she wound her window up, and I drove off, and all was good. But yeah, I mean, in fact, I can think of another incident where a taxi driver nearly killed me as well. Just trying to cut traffic, just trying to cut lanes. Disgraceful, horrible people. You know, and I wish there was a way to punish them legally without having to do that kind of thing, without having to stoop to their level. Sometimes you just feel like that needs to be done. Well, I do anyway. For fear of them killing somebody the next day. You know, if they drive like that and they get away with it, they're going to do it again. And I don't think that I'd be doing my job as a dad if I didn't try and stop that from happening. That's my justification. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think I'm out of order? Do you think I've totally got it wrong? Do you think I've got an anger issue? To be fair, I think I do have an anger issue. But when somebody tries to kill you, that's kind of justified, don't you think? Anyway. That's my morning. That's what I've done today. And here she is. Look at that. The Bayern Arena. We have arrived. I'm assuming we're on time. Damn, this game looks good. From a realism perspective, very high scores. This is a proper full-on simulator and I absolutely love it. Can I wind my window down? I don't know what I've got that bound to. So there we go, guys. A little bit of a story, a little bit of insight into my mental state, a little bit of an insight into my day, and a fantastic drive. Oh, I've locked the doors, haven't I? Sorry, chaps. Let me just unlock the doors. There we go. Now, I would desperately like to see them get out of the bus. You know, walk off the bus properly rather than disappear and reappear, but maybe that will come in the future. But yeah, that rain effect on the window, my God, that's impressive. That's the best rain effect I've seen in any game ever. So touche, TML. You've really nailed it on that one. Close all doors before entering the host stadium. Also lock the left and right luggage hatches. That's those. Attention, if you forget this, it can lead to theft. If you've chosen simplified door control in arcade mode, you don't need to worry about it. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap this episode up here. say thank you so much. The boys are ready for the game. It's going to be a tough start to the season, but hopefully we can get a result. If we come away with at least a point, I think we'll be quite happy today. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to see more. Obviously I'm going to drive these boys back, but I don't want to waste your time or my own. So if you really aren't interested in seeing any more, hit the thumbs down button and I will take my lead from you. Thank you for watching today. Join me in the next episode where we'll see how the boys get on with the game and take the long, arduous journey home as well. Take care of yourselves till next time. Goodbye.